Hello, everybody. I am SunPsychic Jean, and please welcome to Magical Mondays with Joan, Jean, and Terry. Hi, everybody. Hi, Terry. Hi, Joan. Nice to
Hi,
Hi.
see you
Jean.
both.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes. And what a wonderful springy background you have on. I feel like I'm in the
A
heart of
meadow
spring
of
here.
flowers. Beautiful.
You are in the meadow now, aren't you? And I love this. Joan, welcome. It's a rare sighting for Joan today. We're glad that she's able to join us. She's still working on taking care of some details with some family. But we're so glad that you're able to make it here with us today. And I just can't wait. You know, when you have all that rest and then you come in, you are like wham, ready to go, I'm sure. Your spirit guys are like, when are we going to get to play, you know?
I hope that's the way it works.
It is.
Wonderful.
It is.
Good.
So
Good.
and Suzuki, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous. I am almost done with my taxes. So yay.
And Watcher says Joan is a fantastic reader. She
Oh, you're
certainly
so
is.
sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I see Ness is here. Craig Dixon is here. Hi, guys. Laura Hammond and Rush is here. Watcher, we just saw Watcher. Carolyn Adams. Jing. I love it. I love it. So nice to see everybody come back. And Lottie B. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We are all together for the first time in a little bit, and we're very much looking forward to this new the spring equinox that is coming up, and we just had a new moon yesterday in Pisces, and this is a very potent time for psychics and readers and astrologers and anybody that works in the metaphysical type of field. And I'm just really, really ramped up and really looking forward to what may come.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was going to say, I noticed the energy is super ramped up. I have had many people tell me that they've had just amazing lucid dreams where they're on the other side, experiencing kind of the love of being over there. And they're like, what happened? What happened to me? And because a lot of the people that have talked to me about this are my family, who are not necessarily very spiritual, but they definitely had a spiritual experience.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of people asking questions and opening up and being aware of things that maybe they hadn't been aware in the past. What a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's fine. Okay, so you guys all really know how to challenge us. I like Laura Hammond here. Where am I in the vastness?
Wow.
So why don't that I take as a challenge there, Laura. So why don't we just take a minute and see if we can do an energy reading and see if we can pick up on Laura's energy there. And I see Kathy 11 saying she's still at work and okay, she'll have to listen later. Okay, very nice. And yeah, and Rush is saying there's incredible openings happening. That's true. That's true. Thank you for
Yeah.
saying that. And M. Steve is here. Everybody is here. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're already a few minutes in, and there's lots of questions to answer. So, Laura, you are inspiring us. Where am I in the vastness? So, whoever is ready first, you can go ahead and jump in.
Well, as soon as you read that, Jean, I heard exactly where you should be. And then when I tuned in, I saw you. I don't know why I saw you as a male, but you kind of looked like Jack Kennedy. But you were on a surfboard. Well, it looked like a surfboard, but you were kind of like a wakeboard. That's what it was. You were doing like several sports at once. You were holding on like to a wakeboard behind a boat, but then you were doing like the pirouette thing, like a ballet dancer does, or like a ice skater does, with the, your head's out in front and your one foot is back behind. So you're balancing on one foot on, and it's like, I've never seen anybody do this. So you're doing like all these new tricks. You're trying new things. You're trying on new identities and new ways of being, things that people haven't tried before. And yet they're saying you're exactly where you want to be. So I think this is a time of exploration and growth for you. And I don't know what the Jack Kennedy reference was, but whatever. I hope you can make something of that.
Well, I got an answer very similar. And actually, the original person I heard this from is your Olivia, where we once connected to her, and she said, Olivia's her niece, who's on
Right.
the other side,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, everywhere and nowhere.
Mm.
And what that signifies to me when they say that, it means you are connected to the universe. You are everywhere and nowhere. You're not in one particular place. You are just part of the vastness that makes up source. And therefore, you just can't go wrong. Let me just see if there's just any little more about that. Is there anything more to tell her? Oh, just go for it. Go for it. Just if there's any new things you want to learn, find a class, do it. Because that they're just like, it's kind of like sky's the limit for you right now. Well,
I do. Sorry.
I should say not the sky. The sky, everywhere and nowhere means the universe is the limit.
So, Laura, what I was also picking up for you is that I had it at 1 second. It's to go with the flow. There is a greater knowing that is at hand, and there are infinite possibilities with the direction from the universe. And it's important for us to let go of the reins and allow ourselves to be guided and trust and pray for the highest outcome, for the greatest good for all concerned, and to allow this to unfold without sort of putting the burden on ourselves or causing ourselves unnecessary grief or strife. It is what it is, and it is beneficial to release the control and go with the flow on the waves. And they're saying when we resist the what is to come and what is occurring at the moment, it only amplifies the struggle. And if we release, then the struggle is no longer there, and that we're carried by spirit and the universal energies. I feel as though there is sort of not a power struggle, but sort of like you want to be able to control what's happening around you, but the only thing we can control is ourselves and our own reactions. It's very difficult to be a participant in something that is occurring around us when we don't have control over it. And I feel like that's where you're sort of like you feel as though you're untethered, but you're really not. You're being carried, you're being cradled, and you're being escorted by spirit. And they want you to trust this and to protect or tend to your energy throughout the process. I hope that makes sense for you, Laura. I hope that made sense at all.
It did. Could I just add one little thing? I asked
Mhm.
while you were talking about what's the JFK reference, and they were saying it. They were focusing on that aspect of his charisma that you kind of easily drew things to him. So maybe that this is something that it might be a good time for manifestation for you to kind of realize that your energy can draw in what you want.
I'm resigned, I feel. Yeah. It's not easy, but it is better than the resistance. It's better than fighting the current. Um, and and trust that you'll be okay, that you'll get to the other side of whatever this issue is that is I feel as though it has a little bit to do with your independence or your voice and your ability to speak for yourself and to say what you want and what you desire. And because this is not possible with the surroundings or the situation around you, that you are really feeling defeated in this. And they just want you to know that it's not defeat, it's just a new. A new normal almost. Um, but you'll be okay. Everything's going to be okay, Laura, for sure. You're going to be okay, and it is the better way. And spirit will work in mysterious ways, and they just don't want you to cause any more angst on yourself, and to let it play out and see where it leads. Wow, that was really intense there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Very good. All right. Let me see. We have like 40 questions here, you guys. I don't know if we're gonna get all of these done. So let's just see where we can go. All right. So Ness is here. Hi, Ness. Thank you very much for all your support. She's being a wonderful moderator for us as well. She says, I would love an energy read for the next week, 1 or 2 weeks.
I'm seeing you out hiking in a kind of a forest that then goes up a mountain ridge. So you're overlooking, this path is taking you over a mountain ridge, and you keep going up to a crag here and you look over it and then you go back and somewhere else. But what they're drawing my attention to and saying is the path. Follow the well-worn path for this trip, because on a mountain hike like that, you don't want to go off the edge or go out exploring where there's bears. So they're having like those steps you see when they're giving you dance classes, the steps on the footprints on the floor, to follow the well-worn path to kind of keep yourself safe, but recognize that everybody who walks that path has a different experience. And then I kind of see the footprints and you making them kind of twirling around here and spending more time there and making this journey your own, even though whatever part of this journey is, it might feel like, oh, I'm just kind of doing it the way everybody else does it. No, there's a reason that, it's sort of like we all drive, at least in the US, on the right-hand side of the street. And that's the well-worn path, and there's a reason for it. But we're all going different places and having different experiences. So don't feel like you're just following the crowd or whatever. There's a reason for that, and yet a reason to make this journey your own and unique.
So I was kind of looking at the next 2 weeks as well, and it does look like a path, and I was like, what? That, it didn't, nothing stood out to me for a while, and so I had to just sit there with it. And then I saw like a cable, a wire, some sort of cable, and then I saw what looks like you to me, reach out and touch the cable and just walk and sliding your hand along this cable. And so I asked him, what is the cable? And they say, it's connection. It's connection. And I got the feeling that in the next 2 weeks, that there is some sort of big connection that you make. And I I'm not quite sure if this is going to be like suddenly you have some spiritual connection, you just suddenly get it, but it almost seems like it's more about communication with somebody over here, that in the next 2 weeks, as you're connecting with them, something's building for your future, something that's going to be very important in the future. So that's what I got.
Wow. That's wonderful. So she says, big connection, a person or insight. Would you know what that connection would be, Terry?
It feels important, like it is a person, and that the connection solves a problem later on. Like, because you know this person, just for instance, I'm not saying this is what I'm seeing. For instance, because you know this person, you've talked, and maybe your daughter's looking for a place to rent, you realize, oh, we can put these two together and she will be able to rent from this person, or something like that. It's something like that, where there's a connection made that helps you out a lot.
That's really beautiful. Thank you, Terry. I'm trying to think of the word, and I'm not in my thinking mind. But Ness, so just take this with a grain of salt. So what they said is you can't uncrack an egg. Once the egg is cracked, it is always and forever outside of its shell. And that it's almost like you have passed through a threshold that you can't go back and redo or repaint or recreate anymore, because the energies are different. You are vibrating differently. Your awareness is greater, and your vision and your perception is different. You can see things differently. You can feel things differently. You know things differently. So what once was appropriate or um, you know uh, you know uh, I'm trying to think of the word, complementary to your energy is no longer. It's almost like not your tolerance, but your preference. You have a preference now, and what that preference was is no longer. Your preference is new now, and you have a different energy. You have a different almost purpose, almost. And so Terry's talking about that connection, and I feel as though that this new energy that you're carrying, this new awareness, will connect you to new people that are either on that same wave or that same vibration and want the same things. And Terry said that it would benefit all. It's like it would be something that would benefit all. I feel as though, and I happen to know that you are looking for, um, uh, I believe you're still looking for employment, or if you may be looking, but I think that that may have something to do with it. But overall, whatever you do and whatever you were doing and whatever was in your highest good before that certain point is no longer something that you're accepting at this. It's all new, it's all different, and you have a higher purpose and a higher standard with the people that you surround yourself with. And this is what Terry sees is coming, that connection. Does anybody know what that is when somebody connects with somebody else?
Networking.
There's a word.
Networking.
There you go.
That's what reminded me about the job as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And
My awareness is greater.
wonderful. Someone was asking whether they could get a reading if they gave a donation. And what's your policy on that, Jean?
Well, because we hadn't set it up ahead of time, yeah, I don't, we're just going to choose questions randomly today, but we may consider that in the future. And if we do, we'll make it fair, and so that everybody has the chance, and that everybody knows that as soon as they come in this way, if they want to do it that way. But thanks for asking. But we just don't have it set up to be fair for everybody at this time. So I see Valerie here, and she says, "Hello, bless, please. May any messages from a loved one, if possible." So Valerie, do you have is there a specific loved one that you prefer, if you would like to connect with? Ladies, do you need a name and a relationship, or do you want to just try and see what might come through?
Either way, I'm
Valerie, if you're still here, let us know if it's, what relative or friend or loved one this might be for. This way, it just helps us to get there a little faster, and then we can get to the next,
right.
That would be nice. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll come back to you, Valerie, if you can just let us know that the name, like if it's your brother Joe or if it's your mom Mary or something, whatever it is. Okay. So I have Amber here. Hi, Amber. What do I need to be prepared for the next 2 months? Amber, just say hello. Oh my gosh. I should do this. If you're chosen, just go ahead and say hello for us. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can tell you who's going to be after Amber. Um,
It's
uh,
just nice if you're here, because if we have a question, then you can validate right away.
K Shade and Fern, you'll be after Amber or whoever comes in first.
So Fern's here. Amber's
Okay.
here.
Okay. Amber and then Fern. And then if Kate, okay. And then K Shade. Got it. All right. So Amber says, what do I need to be prepared for the next 2 months?
When I tuned in, Amber, I heard right away, expect the unexpected. And to be prepared for that, they showed me a picture of a tennis player when they're, they don't know where the ball's coming from, but they're kind of sitting there bouncing on their toes and their knees are bent. So they're just like, I can get this. I can handle this no matter what side of the court it's on. And they're prepared for it. But if they were just kind of standing there stock still, they'd miss the opportunity. And I think, it would just go, it would be much harder to manage. Maybe they could get it, but it would be more stressful. And anyhow, so I guess that's what they're trying to tell you is kind of expect the unexpected. I'm not sure in what area of life this is, but just in general, maybe you can do some affirmations on kind of talking about I'm prepared for for whatever is coming toward me, and maybe say some affirmations about how there's good things coming toward me, and I'm prepared to let in all the blessings and all of that. But whatever might come, I'm prepared to handle this in the way that's going to be for the best outcome for me and for everybody involved. And just kind of picture yourself on the balls of your toes, ready for that ball coming toward you.
So Amber, if you're able to, I really want to know if you are in a job right now, because it seems like what they're giving me is very much like what Joan said, but it has a lot to do with your job for some reason, or whatever kind of employment you have, whether it's volunteer or that. But what I see is they're showing me you on the stage. They're showing me kind of like all the different colors, energy patterns of you, that the exciting electricalness of you. And they're showing me that they're kind of plugging you in. Like there's like a little plug in, and they're kind of amping you up. And it seems like the reason they want to amp you up is because in these next 2 months, it seems like you solved some big problems on the job. Like there's some huge challenge coming up, and you get the message. You're the one that gets the message because you're kind of amped up. It seems like you're already a good problem solver, and this time the stakes are kind of large, and you get it. You get the thing. You get it. Almost looks like it's something that's kind of going overtime, because they're showing me both months. but that somehow you get the answer. Okay, well, whatever's you're looking at, because I can see you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever challenge you're dealing with right now, they are amping up you for you to get the answer. Whatever this answer is for this challenge that you need to have some information about.
I feel as though what they're saying to you is to know that no matter what the outcome, no matter what the twist or turn, that you'll be okay and that you'll be able to handle it. Whatever comes what may, and that phrase was the second time I had to say it here, is you're able, you are equipped and strong enough and smart enough and good enough and uh, um, just intelligent enough, whatever it is that is required of you as this comes up, you have what it takes. And to know that your spirit guides, loved ones will all be there supporting you. I feel a lot of angelic quality is around you as well. They say that you've been praying and you've been working on manifesting, and you're making this creation, and you're almost like foraging. You're like the you're walking into the unknown. I feel like a uncharted territory, and and it's almost like you're going into the forest where you can't see in the forest because it's dark, because it's sunny outside of the forest, but in the forest it's dark, but you're going in because you know that's where you need to go and where you need to find whatever it is you're looking for. But they're saying you have the courage, you have everything packed with you on your horse, you have everything with you. And it's also because of the connection that you have to your spirit guides and angels, and this resilience that you have within your own strength to know that you can turn on a dime with your thoughts, feelings, and solutions. Just like Joan and Terri said, that was a really interesting question. Yeah, she's been manifesting. Yep.
Good for you.
Mhm.
And being an at-home mom, boy, that's like having the tennis balls coming at you. You never know what's going to
Right.
happen, and you have to be prepared for everything.
Yeah, lots of things to solve there. And
Yes.
moving on top of all that, oh my gosh.
Oh, my word. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hang
it's
in
the
there, Amber.
uncharted territory. You've got what it takes. You definitely do, and you can rest assured in that for sure. Well, thank you, Amber, for your question. You have lovely energy there. So Fern is next, and then K Shade. After K Shade is cup of tea, I think it's called. And I'm just looking at the questions, you guys, and I'm choosing them randomly and trying to move the energy around a little bit. Um, but there's lots of questions. Thank you very much, everybody. Hi, Fern. Nice to see you. So she says, Metatron told me that I am avoiding things with my family. What am I avoiding? Can I get more clarity on this? Thank you. Mm. I hear right away the richness. There are lessons there. There is heritage there. There is like customs, and um, there's um, celebrations, not celebrations, but customs and rituals and richness and understanding who um, what that all means to you and what part of that it comes through you, because we are all of our ancestors, and we are all of our uh, you know all of those that come after us as well. And it's important for you to be here as your human self and experience that physical human existence and all the richness and the lessons and the blessings and the gifts that it offers you, and not to dismiss it. And they're saying that there is a disconnect with the understanding or the energy. It's almost like you're on a different path than your family could be. And they're just saying that it's okay that spiritually you're on a different path and vibrationally you're on a different path, but they're saying they still want you to live that human existence with your family and the ancestors and all of the craziness that's there, and almost like experience the richness of the culture that's around you.
Joan, did you want to go or?
Yeah, I was kind of getting that you kind of like to keep the peace and not roil the waters. And they're saying you can ask why. You can ask, well, why do we do it this way? Or would you consider doing it another way? And not like to challenge them, but just to find out more information. And you don't have to say, well, I think you're crazy for doing it this way. But and you don't even have to say, when we do it this way, it makes me feel really bad. You can just gather a little more information and then step back and decide what you want to do for you. Because I kind of feel like there's some tension of, okay, this is the way my family is, and I either take it or leave it, and it's one or the other. And there's an in between. There's a way to understand things a little bit more, and then allow yourself to make your own choices about, okay, I can see them once a month, or I can do, whatever lines that you want or need to draw are drawn. But just to, it's just like gathering information to make decisions that are good for you and not judgmental of them or harsh on the other people. And I guess that's about what I got. How about you, Terri?
Well, I right away when I heard you're tapping into Metatron, the first thing I got is, okay, so she's also tapping into energy work and healing. And so then I started leaning into that, like, what do you mean, Metatron, about what is she doing here? And so it seems to me that you are developing your ability to move energy around, possibly to use energy to heal. And I felt like that he was showing me, it was kind of like there was a little curtain in the way, but the curtain was just down a little bit. So what I got from that is that you are not required right now to tell your whole family about what you're doing, about using energy to heal them or to heal others. But he would prefer that you keep working on it and eventually work towards allowing them into this, telling your family about the kinds of gifts that you have. As you work towards this, they're going to be able to understand you better. You won't have to hide your gifts under that bushel basket for very long. But he would like you to start moving towards. You have to keep working, even though you can't share it with them yet, probably. Okay, that's
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you. All the best to you, Fern. Thank you for coming. Thank you for asking your question. We love your energy. And so the next one is K Shade. After K is Lisa. And then after Lisa, we're going to come back to Valerie. Okay. So just so everybody knows. Let me just get to K Shade. Sorry, guys. All right. Wondering if my son will marry his current girlfriend. Is she the one? Oh.
What's his first name, Kay, if you're there? Eric. I'm just going to try it once more with the name.
The girlfriend's name is Mariah or Mara.
Yeah, I tried it both without and with the name and got the same answer both times. It circles for a while, so it might not be right away, but then it goes to a yes. So maybe don't start thinking about planning the wedding yet, but it's a definite strong possibility.
Well, I looked into her energy because, just trying to look at Kay Shade's energy in regards to her son, and so I didn't ask yes or no, but what I did get was you're going to have a really interesting and varied and very rich life. So whoever he marries, it really doesn't, you are going to have a rich life with them. It's not going to be whether you have a daughter-in-law that hates you or anything like this. Is going to be a lot of richness and adventure.
I too felt like there was a lot of love there. There was a lot of love there, and they're almost, how some people are together because they're mirrors of each other, and they're there so that, how they say you can learn the most from a mate that mirrors your flaws back to you. So there's a lot of love there, but there's a lot of sort of like self uncovering some things about yourself. So I feel as though, and I agree with Joan, I'm not sure about the marriage part, but I think that there's a lot of love there, and I think there's a lot of growth there, and I think that if they no matter if they marry or not, they'll be lifelong friends forever. It's a yeah, but it's for them to work out, and I think it's still being worked out. I think they're still working it out, and but there's a lot of love there, and there's a lot of caring, a lot of working through things, which is really, really good. It's not easy these days, you guys. It just really isn't. But yeah, so that was a tough one, Kay. Ashi says she likes her. Good,
Yeah.
good. All right. Well, thank you for that. And so after Kay I have, oh my gosh, what did I do with her? I know I saw her here. So Lisa, this is a two-parter, guys. It says, "Hi, I would like to know, can I ask my dad, please, what he's doing and what's it like in heaven? Also, does he have any messages for me?" And she says, "My dad's name is Angval, and everyone called him Bud. He passed in February 2004." So thank you, Lisa. And Valerie, you're going to be next.
This is one of my favorite kinds of questions.
I'm seeing a hat, like a boulder hat, almost like you know how they have St. Patty's Day and that boulder hat that they have with the little rim, but the big roundness on the top. Not the square one, but the one that's round with the little rim. I guess that's called a boulder. I think that's what I hear. But he's showing me a hat, and he's telling me that he was proper and he was stylish and he had character. He had a lot of character. And he's saying that he has status and clout on the other side. I'm not sure if he was a very well known or what do I want to say, renowned kind of a gentleman here in this life where he was known in his community or in his circle, or looked up to, perhaps something in the public eye. But he's definitely well renowned on the other side and carries a lot of clout. He's allowed to wear his hat, and he is very much he's a smart man. He's very warm, but and he has a lot of I don't know if I he has a lot of people that know him and that respect him. And he's saying that they're all still there with him, and that he says it's just like uh another life here. He's saying it's just like another life here. He's saying, I can see you. I can hear what I can hear what you're thinking when you're thinking of him. I can hear what you're asking when you're asking me. He's trying to send you like signs and synchronicities. He's saying, you're doing well on your journey. And he says, follow the breadcrumbs. He says, you're following your heart. And this is what's leading you to this question here. He's very respectable and smart and honorable and loving. He's quite the character. How about you ladies?
Well, I also would agree with that assessment of him, that he's a respectable guy. To me, he looks a little broader. But here's the thing. I kind of read the question wrong, and I asked him, what are you doing in heaven? Because that is my favorite question. What are you doing over there? And so he was showing me what he's doing. And so he was doing some sort of motorcycle ride where that they take it doesn't seem to be an actual gas powered motorcycle. I'm not even sure what this vehicle is, but they take it up the hill really fast to try to go as fast as they can up this steep hill, and they come back down. And so he has adventures like that. He was showing me fishing. He was showing me meeting his friends at for lack of a better word, the local watering hole. Now, I have seen that before when I've asked people, like, what are you doing? I mean, they have comedy clubs and all sorts of things over there. That's just amazing. But it seems like he meets with his friends to just get together, to talk to them. And it seems like these friends may not only just be friends, but like ancestors, that they have a very good time together. You can interact with him anytime you want. He is putting a suggestion in my head that this is, everybody's probably heard me say this before, like if you have to go on a long drive and you're all alone, ask them to sit in the passenger seat and then just talk to them as if they were there, because they will love it and they will be as if they're there. So he's having a grand time. He's just a lovely individual.
Wow. So, Lisa, I'm so sorry. That's such a recent passing. And I'm sure that this is a time of just kind of getting used to this idea of him being gone. But when I first saw him, I saw him kind of from above. He came down like he was flying on angel wings. But then there was a footprint on both of the wings. And I thought, so I think he was trying to show me, maybe he used to wear wingtips. I don't know if he wore wingtip shoes, but there was something about shoes and then the wings. But then the wings, the feather parts of the wings, and I'm seeing these from above, were kind of first he was soaring and then he was kind of flapping. And all the feathers came off and it showed me this mechanical structure underneath it. And he was saying, isn't it cool? And it was like he is working on the design of mechanisms, machinery or things, just mechanical things. So maybe it was like the motorcycles that you were seeing, Katie or Terry, but and he was saying how it's so wonderful to work on a project there because it's all the problems are solved easily. There's not the struggle. You come up with an idea and you can kind of test it out and go, oh, well, we could do this a little better and this a little better. So he's kind of having fun, sort of tinkering around with things and coming up with new ideas. So I don't know if he liked to work with mechanical things or if he was more of a designer that was an idea guy that came up with things and then he'd send it off to someone else and they'd say, well, we can't do this because of this or that. And now he's above it all and all of the can'ts and can just see how to conceptualize things that will work in the 3D world and working on things to kind of bring them down and introduce them here at some point. But he's sending you love and saying that, yeah, it takes some getting used to, but he's enjoying himself already. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. Lisa, if you can just let us know, that'd be great. Either way, if it's a no, let us know. There's another bud that we're picking up that wears it's a bowler hat Sharon gave me. It's not a boulder, it's a bowler hat. I was saying boulder. But you knew what I meant. But yeah, Lisa, here she is. Okay, she was busy typing. I did also ask what he's doing in heaven. What age is he? Has he spent time with Jesus? And yes, he did wear wingtip shoes. So he's keeping an eye on me and he's helping and keeping an eye on them. Yep. Yep, that's true. That's true. What age is he? I got him as just being an adult, maybe like 45, 55, somebody who was established and maybe more like 55 is what I was getting around there. Somebody that had wisdom, old enough to have some wisdom. And has he spent time with Jesus? I'm not sure. I think that's who met him. That's who met him. If he's very much he's saying yes. I'm getting a yes, definitely. I feel as though this is who he prayed to. He's keeping an eye on your 5 adult kids. Absolutely. Absolutely. They do that. They do that when they can connect to you and your thoughts. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much for your question. And your dad's an amazing guy. Oof. Okay, so did I say it was? Oh, yes, I do. I have Valerie is here. Okay, Valerie. So she said she wants a message from her grandmom, and I'm not going to try and Effie and Effie Ita. I'm not going to try and pronounce all of that, but grandmom Effie, maybe we can call her. Let's see, Valerie, if we can get your grandmom. She's telling me I'm feeling like she's really like a mother type for you. It's almost like your mom and your grandmom both were side by side raising you and taking care of you. It's like if she wasn't inside the house, she was like with you 2 or 3 times a week, and perhaps she had a hand in raising you, and she had a hand in she taught you through stories. She taught you through telling you stories about herself when she was a young girl. She taught you stories like almost like not fables, but like stories of adventures of a land far away. And so that you would be able to expand your imagination, and as well as learn a lesson from the story. She had a lot of energy, a lot of she was very spiritual herself, and very extremely loving. It was like you instantly felt safe and calm when you were in her presence. And she said she is still around you. She's showing me she's wearing colorful clothing, like yellows and reds and rusts and different colored clothing. And she's showing me that she's also showing me the owl. If you have an owl totem of some sort, or if that means anything to you. But she's wonderful, wonderful, beautiful spirit, and a very strong woman. How about you, ladies?
Well, strong doesn't, I mean, I don't think I can even quite describe how strong this woman is. Grandma Effie she's showing me this, like the walls they build in Greece, that they're probably, 2 feet thick, out of stone, out of cement. And she's showing me that she was, I mean, stone and cement for Valerie. She was, I mean, this is a tough woman and yet a loving one. I can tell she loved Valerie. She's so loving, but she was responsible. She was the backbone. The buck stops here with this lady. And, but it's more than that. When I kind of take a look at the wall, I can see that she's soul family that's traveled in other lives with you. I mean, you don't get that strong in just one life, and she is tough. And she says, borrow some of my energy anytime. And she's kind of being playful here, but she does mean it. The old, what would Jesus do? What would grandma do? She wants you to go ahead and rely on her and call upon her when you need it. Yeah.
That's beautiful. As soon as I looked her name and tried to tap in, my throat chakra just lit up. And of course, she was saying to speak your truth and tell your own story. But also part of that, beautiful. Part of that is listening to others. And she said, listen to others as much as what they're not saying as what they are saying, to kind of listen with your heart so you can discern what they're really asking and not so much what they're saying. Learn to listen with your heart, not just with your ears, she said. And then she showed me a honeybee, but it wasn't a real honeybee. It was somebody in a honeybee costume, kind of like, remember John Belushi back in the old SNL days? They'd be dressed up in honeybee costumes. And it was fluttering around, and at first it looked like a real honeybee, but then you could see it was a costume. And the message came through was, beware of false sweetness. So another part of listening is to listen with your heart and know when someone's kind of pulling your chain. And she's, she knew how to do that. Somebody might be able to sweet talk you or say all the right words, but what's really inside doesn't match up with what they're saying. So she's advising you to be aware of that, and she'll help you with that. When she was gone, oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh, I'm getting chills. I'm not quite sure it sounds like that was a difficult time.
So once she crossed over, the family was no longer together. She was the matriarch that held everybody together.
Okay.
And they resented you for probably the closeness or I'm not sure why, but sometimes, people grieve in different ways. And unfortunately, when, it could have appeared that you may have been one of her favorites. But yeah, they'll understand. they'll come to their senses, they'll understand their ways. And your grandmother, I feel, is your spirit guide on the other side. And listen to me carefully, Valerie. Your grandmother was your spirit guide before you came into this world. Before you were born, your spirit guide and your soul were together. Your grandmother came in to incarnate here so that she would be there when you incarnated, so that she would be able to teach your soul. And now that your grandmother is on the other side, she is once again your spirit guide. She is that's why we kept saying how strong, how magnificent,
Wrong. I
how
mean,
much, how connected to Jesus she is. She's like spirit guide, spirit guide, spirit guide. She came into this world to teach you in this physical sense so that you would learn. There's the frequency on earth right now is changing, and you needed this hands-on caring and nurturing so that your soul can then go on to teach others. And but she is always and forever going to be your spirit guide. She was your spirit guide before she came into this world and after she came into this world. What a wonderful opportunity this is for you, Valerie. And I hope that makes that makes sense for you. And try not to take it personally when others are resentful to you. It's because they don't understand the dynamics of what's going on. So she's saying, yes, yep. She taught me, and I'm proud but suffering. Yeah, she
Yeah.
understands this. Oh,
she is the
Yeah.
bedrock of your life.
Yeah.
She's helped you set your path.
Just getting full body chills. What a lovely, lovely woman. And she's right there with you now, too, my dear.
yeah, and just it's difficult to deal with the others who don't understand it, but you do, and something that you can just maybe absorb and have some thought and some set aside some time. And I don't know if you have something of hers, something that you hold of hers to connect with her, but she's always going to be in your ear. You're going to be able to get guidance from her. I feel as though it's in your ear. We don't, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Whew. Did I say who was next? I don't remember because I just went to a different plane there. Did I? You-
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was wild.
all right, let's go to cup of tea because I need a little bit of a.
I think that was your choice. I think I remember.
I remember that name. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Is that cup of tea with $3 worth of sugar and cookies?
So is cup of tea here? If you can just say hello, and I don't know who I haven't read in a while. Oh gosh. Lottie B, if you're still here, let me know if you're still here. Cup of tea and Lottie B. And you guys let me know if you see somebody. Who else is here? Roxanne, if you're Lottie B's here. Lottie
Great.
B is here. Let's go with and cup of tea. If you're here, we'll come back if I can figure out how to do this. Let me see. All right. So she says, Lottie B, thank you very much for your question. She says, been having some challenges recently and wondered if my guides have any messages for me and if things might get better soon. So Lottie B, would you mind just giving us sort of what area of life this is? Is it spiritual? Is it with family? Is it with your job? Is it with your health? It would just help us give you a better quality reading rather than just an overall general spiritual reading. Because I notice sometimes when we start giving you a spiritual reading, they say, "Oh no, it's about my, car." I don't know, but just let us know sort of what area general area that we can focus on there, if you don't mind. I'm sorry, Lottie, I didn't read that. Many areas, health, house, and career. Okay. Yeah, that's tough. Seems like the walls are crumbling down. Okay.
Well,
Let's see what
that
Lonnie.
makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Lottie, for letting me know that, because it's a little messy up in here. Oh, okay. So, Lottie B, when I got in touch with your guides, they like put me up. I was kind of like on my own stage looking around, and there was a big table and, lots of, it's a meeting room, but a really old fashioned looking meeting room, like maybe from old England or something. But there are a bunch of scrolls on the table. There are scrolls in baskets, there's scrolls laying down, there's scrolls falling off, rolling off the table and falling onto the floor. Very messy, very messy. And the angel looks like a few hairs are just sprung out of place and like they've been put through it a bit. And so I'm asking, what's going on here? And so it does seem to be, you've got a lot going on. You got a lot going on. And the angel looks at me and says, one step at a time. Just go one step at a time, and we will slowly lead you one step at a time. And then they also said, you got to remember this carefully. You are not a firefighter. You are not on God's payroll to be a firefighter. You're not just going putting out fires, putting out the flyers, just one step at a time. They will take care of any fires, okay? They will just guide you and make this a little easier, a little smoother. But just remember, it's not your job to be the firefighter. It's not just you, it's the people around you. They are learning their lessons. So don't try to put out every fire, because you take their lessons away from them too. Yeah, that's what I got.
That makes sense, and it dovetails with what I got too. I saw two different things. The first was a hurdler running hurdles around a track. And, you can see through the hurdles, you can see where the tape is, where you're headed. And you don't have to be perfect. You'd have to finish the race, but it doesn't really matter if you hit one and it kind of wobbles a little bit. I don't know anything about track, but I think you can still stay in the race even if you do that, as long as you don't fall down yourself or totally turn one over. So there's some aspects, some challenges that you're facing that maybe you take them like a hurdler. And the goal is to just get through the race and get it done, even if it's not perfect. But then right next to the track, there's kind of a barrier that's made of wood. It's not a fence. It's solid wood, and it's probably as high as the hurdle. But there's an orange tabby cat that's climbing up it. It's a small cat, so it's climbing with its claws, and it takes its whole body to use all of those muscles and get up on the top of this little barrier that's maybe a foot or so across, and then it just sits there and looks. So then I heard, use your discernment. There might be some challenges that you're facing that you need to put your whole self into and do it perfectly and sit on top of that. And then you can watch the race, or you can watch somebody else run around from up there. But then there's others that you need to stay in the game, but you don't have to do it perfectly. You can, it doesn't really matter if you come in first, second, third. It doesn't really matter if you place. Your goal is to get through this race and get it finished, and as best as you can, but don't beat up on yourself if your toe touches one of the hurdles. So you decide, do you want to do it perfectly and just do one, or if you have to get a bunch of other things done, don't hold yourself to quite so high a standard. And that's the parable of the hurdler and the cat. Thank you, Spirit.
Wow. Wow, that was really amazing, both of you. So, Lottie B, you definitely sparked something inside of us, and I feel as though this is important for everybody to know, or everybody to consider, or perhaps contemplate for themselves, to look at themselves. And she says she loves that image. Ah, yeah. So, what I have for you is, and please take it with a grain of salt, Lottie B, because what I'm feeling is it's almost like without the destruction, there's no newness. It's important to let go and to have your hand open for something new. If you're holding on to the old structures, the old paradigm, the old energies, the old patriarchy, if I should say, it's no longer in your vibration or in your highest good. And it's important for you to let go. And if you've been hanging on for too long, this may not have been working with your energy, and maybe causing some resistance to build up. I'm also seeing that when you open up your hands and you have room for something new to come in, they're saying that the things that are crushing and crumbling around you um, are happening because it's important for them to create the sense of being uncomfortable, so that you do make the move, so that you are moving in on your path and in your highest good. Because if they didn't become uncomfortable and crumble on their own, you wouldn't move. You would still stay there and still suffer and still, be under all that pressure and doing things that aren't in your energy. So because those things are crumbling, it is just a sign that there is something new there for you. And there's unseen blessings after this storm, Lottie. And please remember this. They wanted you to know there are unseen blessings after the storm, and watch and expect that rainbow to appear. There is a crumbling and a destruction, almost like that Capricorn kind of energy, and you are moving into a new light, a new vibration. It's happening across all. I know that it's happening to you, but this is not uncommon. We are hearing this. This is the energies of the new vibration, and a lot of people are just feeling that what doesn't work for them anymore is falling away. And we have to appreciate it for what the lessons were that it showed us, and to open up to what is coming new. It's unforeseen blessings after the storm, and watch for that rainbow. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. uh, okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hi, Adriana and Jenny Berlin, Carolyn Adams, and Cam and Teresa and Scott Scorpio. Woo woo. Scott Scorpio, he is a hot commodity these days, guys. If anybody hasn't gone over to Scott's channel, he is on fire right now. He is on everybody's channel, and he's having everybody on his. I love it. I love it. I love it. So much lovely energy there, Scott. I'm so excited for you. Okay, so I do have one more. Ladies, do you have one more? Do you have time for
Yeah.
one more? Okay.
Yeah.
So Michelle is here. She says, "Hello. Do my guides have a message for me?" And this is the point where we say, "Spirit guides."
Yay.
Okay. And then, yeah. Mm. So, Michelle, I'm not sure if you're how far you are on your spiritual journey, but they are showing me. Did you ever see the Bugs Bunny cartoon where they had Melvin the Martian, and he had like one of those uh mm, the it was like a knight's helmet on, that you pushed it up, and then the knight's helmet came down. There's something about either Martians or knights helmets. There's the knights, there's something in different realms, higher realms, uh I'm not sure if you do if you do journeys, or if you have dreams, or if you have really creative meditations. Marvin the Martian. Yep. That's who I saw.
Mhm.
That's who they're showing me. So let me just check, Michelle, what that means for you. I just feel like there's more for you to learn and to explore from the other side that is waiting for you, that you may be remembering in your near future. So Michelle, just let us know if that makes any sense to you. I could be totally off base. I could be picking up on somebody else's Martian, but how about you ladies? Maybe you can bring some clarity to it.
Well, what I saw on my stage was, I don't know how this makes any sense at all, actually, but basically they're showing me that she's really being affected by this energy that people are feeling now. She's really feeling it. They're showing that she's going through some real changes right now, and it's amping up her energy. And they keep saying there's way more to learn, way more to learn. So I have a feeling that this is, I mean, this is about past lives as other on other planets. I loved it when you brought out Marvin the Martian, and when you said that, the thing I saw was the little ray gun, and to me, what that was kind of saying for her is like she's got this past life or history with them, not Martians per se, but with other people from other planets, and that she's got the goods. She's armed. She's ready for this, and her energy is really amping up right now because of this. So that's all I got, is she's really starting to get in touch with all this.
Beautiful. When I tuned in, I saw Michelle in a kayak or a canoe or something going down the river, and it's like I can't do an hour without seeing someone in a vessel of some sort. And you were going down the river, but you were going kind of like a big scallop pattern. You'd go this way and then this way. And it wasn't just following the flow. You were kind of exploring over here and then over here. And they were giving me the idea that in the 3D world, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But what you're exploring, it makes more sense to kind of loop around. And they said, you don't have to go deep into anything, but this is a time for kind of getting a taste of lots of different things, or exploring different communities, or different whatever it is that you're into. And then they showed me that you kind of went to the bank to take a rest for a while, and doing all this kind of learning and exploring a little bit at a time, at whatever moves you at the time, is of a different way to learn and a different way to bring things in, rather than the okay, I'm going to sign up for the class, I'm going to go over, to blah 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 blah, and then I'm going to get the certification, and then next. But it's a different way to explore it, to kind of get a broader sense of whatever it is that you want to explore. Go to the bank, 3D world. Oh, and then they said it's like a tasting menu. Before, if this is sort of a newer area to you, you might want to just order the tasting menu first, rather than just the one big entree, and just get a taste of a lot of different things, and then decide, okay, this is where I really want to go. Go in enough depth so that you can get an idea if you resonate with this topic or that or whatever. But between the kayak and the tasting menu, that's kind of the picture they were giving me for you. So I hope that makes some sense to you, Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. And we're sorry about your
Oh,
situation there. We uh, wish that everything turns out in the highest good for everybody involved there, Michelle. Yeah, just you can stay positive, and there's much assistance for you in the higher realms. So count on your angels for sure. So that it concludes the show for today. Thank you very much, everybody. We had like 100 questions. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish we could stay here for 5 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours, but we are unable to. We must go. There's other shows that need to come on. And we just want to thank each and every one of you for coming and for holding the space and for asking your questions and for all of your feedback. Your participation was really very important and very much appreciated. So, Joan, if you have anything that's coming up, you can let us know. And Suzuki, we're going to be together tomorrow. Is that correct?
Right? We might need to change the time a little bit, but we'll see if it works. I keep getting like I make doctor's appointments like
Okay.
ages ago, and they keep coming up on Tuesday. So I might have to move it, but I'm still doing the Akashic healing series, and this has been a series of 3, and the final one uh, that is leading towards spiritual freedom will be either tomorrow or the next day. They're going to restore and strengthen your psychic connections to the other side. So that's going to be cool. And aren't you and I going to be on together on Friday
It's
with
Thursday.
Terri?
We're doing a St. Patty's Day special with Terri the Pure Visionary, and that's Thursday the 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Pacific. And I will be on tomorrow. I'm sorry, yeah, tomorrow the 12th, having a special guest. Her name is Stacy. She's coming to talk about her experience with flower essences, with Akashic record reading, and also her artwork. She's an artist and Akashic record reader, and she is doing an event that one of our community members, Daphne, is holding on Eventbrite, and it's for the equinox, and it's a flower essence along with a meditation from the Akashic record masters, and it's going to be a really beautiful event. I had Daphne on. You can check that out on my from the past lives, and it was the one with the single rose on it. That was Daphne, and this is Daphne's partner who's going to be doing this event with her. She's going to be coming on and talking about her part of this event. It's really quite amazing. You guys have to see this artwork. It's really so very inspiring. I love it, and I'm so excited to have Stacy on and to talk about this event. And I love supporting other members of the community as well. And I and Terri Suzuki are also available for private readings. And Joan, you're going to be opening up maybe in April for your private readings.
Probably later on in April. I need to take some time off yet, but yep, I'll get back to it someday, and you'll hear all about it.
So you can check my private readings on sunpsychicgene.com. I also have a special there that is a Sunday soul sessions. And please do check that out. And would love to have you join us. I've had a lot of wonderful response and feedback from it so far. And looking forward to seeing a lot more of you there. So thank you, Terri. Thank you, Joan. It's always a pleasure, and I love being here together. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful. Wait, 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do something new, y'all. You'll see. Okay. All right. So thank you all for coming, and we will see you again real soon. Bye now.
Thanks. Bye. Ooh, nice.